I want to share some with you guys real quick. As I had a thought tonight, and it's like a perspective shift. You know, I talk a lot about making your perspective your power or your prison, right? And share this if you can. Let's get people on here. But I talk about that a lot. You know, one of the things that, you know, we all want is to live our best year. I'm sorry, I'm looking around like I like watching my surroundings when I'm parked somewhere. Want to make our best year yet. And perspective is huge. You know, like how you see things will determine how you feel about things. How you feel about things will determine what you will do with that. And so I'm always big on perspective, because perspective is something that you can control, that you can train, right? You can always find the good in something. That's a choice that's always yours. And so I was thinking about it. I was like, well, how can we, like, what can we do to help our perspective, right? To shift that from our prison to our power. But what I see a lot of people do is, and nothing wrong, like, it is something wrong with it, but I get it. Like, I don't want you to feel like, you know, like you're less or anything like that. But when I was in my rock bottom, when I was in my victim mindset, I always would say these words, like, why am I, right? Like, why am I? Why am I losing in life? Why am I, you know, being cut from football teams? Why am I not happy in my relationship? Like, why am I a loser? Like, why I would always, why am I tired? Why don't I have energy? Like, I would always ask that question. And the thing that I realized, like, and some of you might have realized this, like, it was a breakthrough for me. So, but the thing that I realized is that, like, when you ask yourself that question, like when you ask yourself a limited question, you're going to get a limited answer, right? So if you ask yourself why I'm a loser, your mind is already thinking, okay, like reasons to validate that question, right? So I'm a loser because I got cut. I'm a loser because, you know, whatever story that you're telling yourself when you're really not that. But that's how I was, man. So like I found reasons to validate why I felt the way I felt. And it kept me in that place. And a lot of us, that's what we do when we're in a victim mindset, is that we ask those questions. You know, I feel the quality of your life, a big part of it is determined by the quality of questions that you ask yourself. Because if you ask yourself limited, sucky questions, you're going to get those type of answers in your life. So you might say, okay, well, Trent, how do I change that? Well, now I realized, like, I was like, how did I get from here to here? Like, I'm always thinking like that. And one thing that I did was I changed the question, right? I stopped saying, why am I like this? Or why am I not deserving of this? Why am I always getting hurt? Why am I always getting taken advantage of? And I started changing the question to, are y'all ready for this huge breakthrough? It's really not huge. But I changed the question to, how can I? Think about that for a second, right? If you say, how can I heal? How can I win? How can I stop feeling like this? You're automatically like programming your mind to think of solutions of how you can get out of that situation. You know, so it's like, say, for example, if I say, why am I at rock bottom? You're going to think about reasons why you're at rock bottom for the most of us, right? That are not going to help you. There are probably just going to be excuses to make you feel good about doing nothing with your life. But if you say, how can I get from rock bottom, right? How can I better my life? How can I, you know, stop allowing people to use me? And I think that you put your mindset in a power perspective. You start thinking about reasons and coming up with solutions and developing standards in your life, you know, to really help your life. So think about that. Like, I just wanted to share that real quick. Think about it, right? Stop asking yourself, why am I like this? And start saying, how can I? Like, start forward thinking. Start thinking in power instead of prison. Start thinking in victory instead of victim, right? Start thinking in winning instead of losing. You know, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Like, and I know that might step on some toes and I know that might hurt a little bit, but you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself, because I want to tell you, like, the world doesn't care. Like, I just want to tell you, people don't care. They might care for 2 seconds, but majority of people don't care about your struggle. They don't. So it's either like you can accept it or you can say, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to change my environment. I'm going to start living intentional. And I know sometimes we look for these huge like moments, like, oh, share something that's, you know, like super like incredible. And life isn't always like that. Like sometimes it's the smallest little shifts that can make the major changes in your life. Like at least for me, some of us, we look for this magic pill to like, to make us feel good. And like feeling good isn't enough. I want to be clear with you. Inspiration, like it isn't enough. Like some of you are going to be inspired tonight that are going to go back to the same habits next week. It's not. I break down transformation in 3 areas. I break down transformation. I'm sorry, I'm looking around. I saw these cars going around. It's like weird. The first area of transformation is information, right? But information doesn't create transformation alone. But that's the first area. You got to be informed some way. You get information tonight. The second area is you got to be inspired by that information, right? Some of you are inspired, but inspiration isn't enough to create transformation. It's not. The third area has to be implementation, right? You have to take what you learned that you've been inspired by. You have to apply it to your life. And that will create over time transformation. And that's the thing, man. You can't expect change in your life without making changes. Like, that's the thing I don't understand with people sometimes. It's like you complain, but you don't do anything to change. Like, it's not going to happen. And then you get mad at the world for not caring about you. Like, I just want to be clear. You got to care about yourself. Like, the reason you're choosing to stay where you're at, that's on you. You're choosing to stay there. You're choosing. And I'm not telling you to make some crazy, like, change in your life, but you got to at least start trying, right? Trying. You got to at least start to stop accepting things that don't serve you, that don't grow you, that don't benefit your life. And a lot of you, take heed to it. A lot of you make change. I've seen so many testimonies and so many transformation stories. It's incredible. But it's time to take it to the next level, man. One day at a time, man. Just appreciate progression. Progression is an ugly road. This is my quote. Write it down. Progression is an ugly road that leads to a beautiful place. Progression is an ugly road that leads to a beautiful place. Progression isn't pretty. It's not. The road of progression isn't pretty. You lose people, you stumble, you fall, you get confused. But as long as you keep going, as long as you keep climbing, progression will lead to a beautiful place. So never fear progression. Progression is necessary. Never let perfection make you not appreciate progression. Progression is not perfection. Understand that. Too many of us, we never move. We never do anything with our life because we're so afraid to be judged. We're so afraid to fail. We're so afraid to be embarrassed. Fail forward. All right. Struggle forward. Just move forward, man. That's what life is about. So you can look back and say, hey, you might be where you want to be. I might not be where I want to be, but I'm a lot further than where I used to be. And that's what life is about. And that's what I want for you guys. I want to help you guys turn your pain into power. That's all that I want. I want to help you guys turn your pain into your power. Let's get it. Love you guys. Let's go.